Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Club. Yes, it is a Sharpe Club. It has returned. Some of you really wanted to bring it back, and it's been a lot of months, and I have brought it back. Mike Voss was mad at me. He yells at me all the time, and I said, okay, fine, I'll bring it back. Fine. He's always yelling at me. So I got him to stop yelling at me. I brought back the Sharpe Club, and it is a little bit past 8 p.m. on the East Coast. I know you're saying, Larry, you're the 7 p.m. guy. It's true. But when I do this, I don't know what time people are going to be on when I do a Sharpe Club, so I got to push it back a little bit in case people are like on the West Coast or someplace else. And of course, this time there are people who are not all on the East Coast, which is the only real coast. But that's fine. I'm not going to be mad at you people who aren't, even though I am better. I'm not. It's fine. I'm just kidding. Anyway, the point being, I'm very happy that you were all with me this evening, and it should be a very fun show. I have with me today, and obviously a great topic, and I have with me today my star-studded panel, people who I'm very happy to have. He is my brother from Chicago, the man, the myth, the legend, the man from Hard Lens Media, Kit Cabello. How are you, sir?
Cheers and salutations. Good to be here. I think originally when you sent me the invite, we were going to talk about something completely different, and unfortunately, fate decided to give us something else. Unfortunately,
we can pop in whatever you want. This is Sharpe Club. Throw in whatever you want, brother. All good, all good. As long as we're not talking about how my pizza is better than your pizza in New York to Chicago, as long as we're not talking about that, it's fine. That's all I care about. That's all.
That's Chicago style #1.
And someone who has one of my favorite, I guess, former activists, kind of activists, could be activists. I haven't had her on my show for like over a year now. It's been forever. It is the one and only that Liberty chick. How are you? AKA Kaleena George. I can't hear you.
You might be
Sorry,
muted.
I muted it. I have to say, I'm happy you invited me back because I remember the first time that I ever came on, I was an hour late because I messed up the East Coast time. So
Yes.
I'm happy to be back. I watch the show all the time. I think it's awesome what you do. So appreciate being on here.
Thank you, of course.
And meeting
our
everyone.
Our returning champion, the man who you guys always try to get on. He is the one who does his own 17-hour show every Sunday, or 19 hours, whatever the hell. He talks forever. Whatever. That guy who keeps going, the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Voss. How are you, sir?
Hey, everybody. Oh, my God. Yeah. You know, just because I do like a 5, 6, 7-hour show, 8-hour show,
I salute that.
You know, it's not that bad.
Yes, whatever. It's the same, but it's 9 hours, whatever. I can't match it, bro. I don't even try. I'm happy to do like 2, and I'm good. I'm totally blown away. So yes, but here's what I want to bring up, guys. Anyone who wants to follow them, you can see all their YouTube channels are in the description. Plus, if you want to, you can check them on X, which I put right here. If you can follow Mike at MB Consult, Kit at Kit Cabello, and you can find a Liberty Chick at X Liberty Chick on X. So either if you can check them out on YouTube or on X, please go ahead. The piece I want to bring up here, which I think is obvious, with the recent violence that we've had this last week, with the recent scare tactics that have been all over, are we becoming more and more radical? And I say that because not just the violence is one piece, but in the past, I think most of us would agree, when something violent happens, very often, at least I remember when I was growing up at least, that the violence would then bring us together. We'd be like, okay, we've gone too far, right? Let's bring us back together, that kind of thing. But I feel like this time with Charlie Kirk, with the woman on the train, yeah. I feel like it was almost like, nah, good, whatever. Like it didn't bring us together. If anything, it kind of pulled us further apart. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. If I may, I'd like to shoot first on this. First of all, when that incident took place, was the young woman being murdered on the train in Charlotte. I mean, looking at the fear in her eyes, I mean, she already knew that it was done and over, and there she did. She died alone in the bottom of this, public transportation vehicle, which is absolutely sad and depressing. And then with Charlie Kirk, I did an afternoon live stream show because, there was a lot of construction outside next door and my internet was down. So I decided to do a live stream and everything seemed nice. It was a beautiful day. And then one of my viewers said, hey, Charlie Kirk's been shot. And I thought I was being pranked. And then, no. And then came the fallout. Are we more divided? I would say yes, with the aftermath of what we saw from 2016, the cancel culture, the woke involvement, the immediate censorship and suppression that we're seeing online.
Yep.
The political divisiveness in Washington, D.C., because our politicians aren't going to do us any favors. And of course, we have corporate media where one dumb idiot said somebody was shooting their gun off to salute Charlie, which is the dumbest I've ever heard in my entire time covering online news and politics. Yeah, we're divided, and good luck in trying to reunite us. I mean, I'm trying to do best I can as, hey, let's be peaceable here. Let's be nice. But you have vigils for Charlie Kirk being agitated, but in my opinion, maybe by paid agitators to cause people to get angry. Because again, everyone that's holding a vigil or counter protest, you have to realize if you're going to be goaded into a fight, you might be being tricked into something. But everything online now, we are so consumed by it 24/7 that it is involved and invaded real life. So yeah, we are divided. Yes, we are at each other's throats.
Let me go one step further here.
And the murder of Charlie Kirk, just here's the thing. It was so visceral. It was so brutal. And then when you see what this one person did, he revealed that there's a lot of sick people out there jumping up and down, dancing for joy. And yes, you do see people on the right as well saying, oh, well, we can't talk as well. Well, then, my goodness, this is a powder keg that's going to blow. It's a slow fuse, but the fuse has been lit. And now, how do we reverse it without it getting worse? And I fear that it will get progressively worse.
Mike, go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, okay. Because that's a lot. And you're right. And I agree with you. And yes, Irina Zaruska. Yes, that's right. Sorry, my Russian's a little rusty right now. That would have been the big story, and it's a sad story. Mm-hmm. But all of these stories are all indications of the same thing. They're all symptoms of the same problem. Our society is breaking down. We're being divided and pushed into checkbox categories, whether we want to or not. And this is going back, for me, I most recognized it under 2008 when Obama said, I want to transform America, and never explained what he wanted to transform it into. Right. Well, this is the result. We have been transforming far faster, far harder. You can say it's been happening since the 60s, since the 50s. You can say that. Mm-hmm. But I think this is the modern push. And the problem is it's happening so fast. Our kids are being so indoctrinated. We don't have a chance to absorb it all and to respond, just like this week.
So much hit us.
It's too much all at once. And
so much hit us.
How do we respond?
So I want to go one step further with this, though, right? You've been a valid point. Now we're getting to a point where I have to pick a side or I'm a bad guy. So I kind of understand. Not validating. I'm explaining why so many people who, once one of their friend group or community goes, so happy they got him or whatever they say, I get why the rest jump on board. Because if they don't, oh, see, you're one of them, right? If you're not with us, you're against us. There can be no middle ground, right? Now, I've heard the right do the same thing. I've heard people on the right say things like, let's calm down. And people on the right go, no, time for talk is over, right? They got rid of the guy who talks. Time for talk is over. I've seen both of them happen. That's why I feel like it's going further. Right?
Well, here's the thing. Like, let's be clear. However, I have my differences with Charlie Kirk, and may he rest in peace. But he's quoted as saying, "I'd rather sit down and talk to people." Well, yeah, what this moron did, who shot Charlie Kirk, you got rid of the guy who would talk. You got rid of one of the, it's not fair for me to say reasonable ones, but one of the people that will sit down and talk to you, maybe embarrass you in a debate, fine, whatever. But him being now removed from the equation.
Nick Fuentes still doing fine.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Him being removed from the equation is a huge detriment now, because now there's the realization of, oh, well, you just can't sit down and talk anymore, which is one of the things that made our republic great, and that is people.
There was a rumor that back in the 60s, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard people say it, that MLK went to Lyndon Johnson and said, deal with me or you got to deal with Malcolm X. Which one do you want? And Lyndon Johnson was like, I'll take you. It's fine. I'll take you. Yeah, I've heard that.
I've heard that story too. But even then, here's the thing. Even Malcolm X that eventually had his turnaround to where he was seeing where MLK.
And that's when it got rid of him. When he was screaming and yelling about killing Whitey, he was fine. But the second he said we're all Muslims and we're all together, whatever, then they had to get rid of him.
After his trip from Mecca, after his education in Mecca, after his realization, he was like, okay, well, wait, maybe we're all in on this together. And you know what? What a better world that would be. But we're not in that world right now. We're in a world now where people are hypercharged because of this, our cell phone, what you see online.
I want to just say,
go ahead, Kaleena. Go ahead.
Sorry, I've been quiet. The dogs, if I quiet, I have to mute because my dogs keep barking at the neighbor dog. So I agree. I think the internet is a huge problem. I mean, it has its upside because it can connect us in so many ways. It has really, really good uses. But even in between events like this, there are people on the internet that are just sitting there kind of like churning the wheels of hate. You know, a lot of these people are already primed to be very angry and very defensive no matter what happens. So it's almost like, you know, like constant 24/7 year after year of just charging people, you know, to be very like not just partisan, but like you said, like whatever group. We're divided on every line now. I think yesterday you talked about like the male female divide. So we have that, families, we have race, we have politics, we have youth versus older people, and it's almost everything. So and people are just primed. They're ready to get mad. They're ready to, you know, even families, like families, friends, people are ready to just cut off their family, cut off their friends.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But it's just creating this culture of like, you know, there's just almost no community for people left. And I think that kind of, you know, then it's like these online groups will kind of just swoop in and get people kind of on their side, radicalized, or just, you know, kind of identifying with this, you know, these movements.
Let me grab
or
a quick
the anchor.
super chat here. A quick super chat. Dave says it right. Dave is right with you. He agrees. He goes, thank you for the 999, Dave. He says, social media has radicalized some people. It's easy to become radicalized on social media. Social media is an echo chamber. It's the algorithm, right? Gets everyone together, keeps you the same thing, right? The algorithm. Larry, I blame lack of hobbies. Social media and politics is the hobby. This part I want to bring up. This is what you're talking about, Kaleena. That's what you're talking about. The idea that so many people are spending their time doom scrolling instead of going out and playing baseball or going out and hanging out with their friends or even going to get drunk. I mean, whatever is the thing you used to do, right? Going to church, whatever was your thing. They're spending their time doom scrolling. And since it's called doom scrolling, because to your point, Kaleena, it's negative, right? I'm watching bad things and I'm thinking the world's horrible because my algorithm and my people tell me it's bad. And here's the worst part. It's bad because the other. That's why it's bad. The other makes it bad. So we got to get rid of the other because they're the word I can't stand. They're dangerous.
Yeah, but there's something about that we have to understand. It's not the doom scroll. The problem with it is that it's all surface level. It's inconsequential. It's a headline with no context, no understanding, and no one. And we've taught generations now to not ask questions, not to look into the details, and instead accept it as it's been told to you. Comply, hold your head down, be quiet. And by the way, go over in your corner. That's for your people. And if you disagree, well, that's for your people, the other corner, and never mix, never have a conversation.
Right.
That's why people like Charlie Kirk and ourselves, everyone here on this panel and many other programs, we're important because we are having more than a surface level conversation. We are talking to people that don't always agree. Don't always see.
Yeah, but hold on. But Kit is a perfect example. You too, Mike, and me also, but Kit probably worse than most of us, being canceled for doing that. Now, obviously, they didn't come at us physically, but they came at our pocketbooks. They came at our wallets. They came at our social status, right? Do you remember how popular I was in 2019 after my run in 2018? I was super popular. And then all my social media, the second I talked about how lockdowns were bad, shut down overnight. They wrecked my entire career. Kit, how many times have you been canceled? 8?
No, I'm the 9-time world heavyweight champion, everybody.
9 times. Yes, exactly.
I mean, come on. Like, some of the stuff I've been canceled for is some of the dumbest things ever. I mean, first of all, let's talk about my channel itself. I mean, you know, currently I'm in this legal nightmare, which is the dumbest thing I've ever been a part of ever. I'd rather be back in Iraq than go through that. But then also the other 8 times talking about Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, having conversations, saying, calling out the Democrats for their failures and saying that Jimmy Dore was right on an issue. And then talking about, you know, how Joe Rogan was being smeared by CNN and YouTube says I was giving out medical information. And this other story, you know, it just like I was talking about adult videos, you know, got to be careful with the YouTube algorithm, right? Got to be careful now because we can't be adults here.
Baby talk.
And what YouTube said was I was showing adult material when I was reading articles from Vanity Fair, New York Times, and the Washington Post. You know, I literally had to show them clips from Odyssey and Rumble saying, hey, YouTube, are you this stupid? Did anyone not look at this? And that's the problem. And then on top of that, you deal with the activist cancel culture, which I got to say at this point, in Chicago, from my perspective, the activist labor group, the quote unquote resistance that's right now touting a victory over Trump not coming to Chicago. No, he's going to come to Chicago eventually, because if we continue on, I'll tell you why he'll come back. You know, it leaves much to be desired for, because now these are the same people who huddle up to the Democrats in City Hall. So, yeah, I've been canceled before. I remember I had a Trump supporter who used to troll my chat and eventually said, like, hey, how come these communists hate you? How come these other people don't like you?
Let me bring this piece up too, because what people don't know, people who watch the show often know, Kit, you lean left, you don't lean right.
Yeah.
And what everyone thinks is, well, they only crushed the right. No, they crushed anybody who was not establishment. That's who they crushed. Now that was mostly right, because it was during the Obama and the Biden years. So that was mostly right. That's true, mostly right. But it was also people who lean left who were anti-establishment left. They got rid of them too. And libertarians who were anti-establishment. They got rid of all the anti-establishment more than anything.
It's anyone who isn't parroting the approved message.
Correct.
Look at we've heard from YouTube and Google. They've directly told us this. We've seen it in the mainstream. They've been saying, oh, no, we're going to reinforce and emphasize the approved message from a CNN, MS Now, those guys. We're going to push their messaging, even though it's been proven to be biased, even though it's been proven to very often be incorrect or made up. How many of their employees have been fired for plagiarism or just making up stories? But they're going to push them, and they are trying to silence us because we're effective at saying there's more to it.
I've had people like way early on try and become armchair generals to Hardlands media, telling me like, oh, you shouldn't interview this person, you shouldn't speak to this person, you shouldn't talk to. I mean, my favorite one was when I had one activist say, you need to interview more women on your show. I was like, well, actually we did. We interviewed 5 libertarian candidates who were running in for Cook County Board, I think in 2018, or they're running for some state seat. And she's like, well, not those kind of women. I'm like,
not those women. No. Like, the right kind of women. Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. And
sorry, Kaleena, you don't get interviewed. Sorry.
But see, that's the thing.
You don't get it.
You know, the internet, even then, like where we're at now, going back to your original point, are we at a point of no return? I want to sit here and give an argument saying, no, there's still hope. But where's my basis and facts? Because I can't back it up. There's too many people emotionally charged and angry after everything that happened since Wednesday. Everything that happened after Wednesday, all the cheers, and yes, even all the vitriol and madness. I can't just say, oh, we can all sit down and talk. I hope that there are people that are still willing to do that. But right now, the emotions are too high, and we are divided. And that's the worst thing for a country, a nation, an empire to be in right now.
True. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is a challenge. But before we go there, I do want to quickly grab I got a couple super chats I want to grab real fast if I could. Roger says, thank you for $2. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow in my hometown of Freeport. Yes, by the way, I will be traveling. Tomorrow. I will be out on. And by the way, Roger, you get to meet Mike. Mike will be with me tomorrow. So you get to meet Mike too. He'll be with me tomorrow. I usually go upstate very often, but I will be downstate tomorrow. For those of you who want to see me downstate, you can come see me if you want to. I will be in Queens. Hold on, I'll pop this up real fast so you guys can look at it if you want to. I will be in Queens at noon. I will be in Nassau County at 3. I will be in Suffolk County at 6. Those are 3 places. Check out any of my check out any of my social media. Sunday, I will be on Staten Island at 10 a.m. and then in White Plains, Westchester at 2 p.m. So, guys, please jump on board if you want to. Happy to see you. Also, Duke of Hex, $5. Thank you. Big Pharma wants to hide the fact that most people who commit these crimes are on some kind of psych meds. Won't be surprised if this kid was on them too. That's another big piece. Kaleena, you're nodding your head. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a question that I had because, as I mentioned prior to the show starting, I noticed that a lot of people are jumping straight to, he obviously got radicalized in college, but we don't really, that I've seen that on so it always weirds me out when I see so many people parroting the same line over and over and over. And I've seen that on every platform. But I hadn't seen anybody mention, was there a psychiatric issue, anything else really about him. I did see something saying that possibly he had only gone to the college that he had gotten the scholarship for 1 semester. So I don't know if anybody knows really even what he was doing in the past 4 years. But I always wonder about the psych med stuff. And I think that's why RFK is a super important part of this, because he's going to be looking into that. And to everyone's point prior, are we too far gone? If there is an element like that they can kind of, identify and start to change, then I think that would give a lot of, hope and positive direction. So
I don't think people talk enough about that concept of how we are often unhappy and angry and bothered, and very often it's because of the meds we're taking or the food we're eating or not eating, whatever the case may be. I think there are some aspects to that. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's the be all end all. I think if we all of a sudden change medicine tomorrow, there's going to be no violence. I'm not saying that, but I do think that this could easily be a kind of straw that breaks the camel's back type thing. And then
I think the back is already broken. The back is already broken, man. It's already broken.
I want to say yes, and if you're talking about just mass shootings, Kaleena, you're right. One of the big things, right along with mental health, there's gang shootings, and there is medications.
Yeah.
These are massive factors, and there's about 38 different reasons why mass shootings happen. But when we're talking about something, this is hyper specific. It's not like a regular mass shooting. This is an assassination.
It's true. He only fired 1 round, Mike, and he could have fired more. He had more rounds. If he was going for damage, he could have kept shooting.
Yeah, this was he had a very specific target.
Yep.
We know that. And towards the question, were medications involved? I don't think so. But even so, what he was motivated by most, according to the casings we see now that we're hearing about how he did get radicalized, we have people who are telling us he was radicalized, and we can see he left us a message in the bullet casings. He is Antifa.
I have to question this right here, because again, there's a couple of things that are still not sitting well with me, especially when it comes down, bringing in, was he antagonized or pushed by another group? All right, because
hold on. Here's the most important piece, Kit. Hold on. This is the thing that I noticed when they showed a picture of him jumping off the roof. Yeah, he was not carrying a rifle. Nope. Yet they said they found the rifle in the woods.
Yes, I know.
So I'm not sure about any of that stuff. I don't know any of that stuff, Mike. That easily could be planted. That easily could be some stuff. And I got my tinfoil hat on right now, but it still could be planted.
I also have to agree with Larry on this here too, because look, Mike, Larry, and we've served in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've handled weaponry and casings and rounds, and I think we're smart enough to know not to be writing any kind of engravings on any kind of round cases, because you never know when something stupid could happen, because something can and stupid will happen, right? Because I'm gonna treat rounds like whatever. If anything, want to write anything, I'll use a Sharpie, but even then I won't even do that because that's stupid. But nonetheless, I find it suspicious that these rounds were there so conveniently found with these words. And I don't want to say that it could be a foreign power, because again, there could be some veracity to that, or it could be also maybe he was part of another group or people. Maybe because right now the story that we have is that his father and family members were the ones that handed him in. But who was he talking to? Discord right now. I mean, he has a Discord profile. He's obviously has social media. There needs to be a full investigation into who he was talking to, what he was posting about, who did he associate himself with. Because if anything,
counting chickens too fast, Mike. You counting chickens.
Yeah,
I mean, we're forgetting a point that they have him in custody, so they're interviewing him. We actually are going to be able to know what he has to say. Unlike a lot of these situations.
I hope he stays alive. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I want him to be speaking and alive while he is still talking. I don't want him to conveniently somehow self-terminate.
Oh, he's going to be on suicide watch, and if they put him anywhere near anyone else, he's going to be killed.
But no, suicide watch, that always works, except for EpiPen. But that always works.
I know. But when we look at the profile of what we see in terms of indoctrination, and when that indoctrination becomes violent, we look at members of Antifa and the organization Antifa as we have seen it, whether it's the autonomous zones that have killed children in Seattle, Portland, over in Indianapolis, in Atlanta. It matches. Now, he's a hunter. You would think that he wouldn't etch anything. He should know better than etch bullets.
Correct.
Yes.
He knows a firearm.
And that's my point. That's exactly my point.
But wait.
So that means, hold on, Mike. That means he probably left them for someone to pick up. And that's my point.
We know he did. We know he did, because there is part of the conversation from Patel in the press conference. He did. He actually had several texts with a roommate to go get the gun and to get the bullets. He actually sent them the location. He told them where he had put it. Now, could he have dropped it off and I understand, could he have dropped the firearm first and then jumped off the roof? Maybe. Are there questions there? Absolutely. And I want a full investigation, because I want to make sure we got the right guy. And I think the nation needs to be confirmed after all of these false starts, after so many things in the last 4 years.
So why are you counting chickens? You count they haven't hatched, and you count them already.
I gotta say, it's just there are things that are not adding up fully. And the thing is, if I wanted to disrupt or cause more discourse and violence in a country, I would make a perfect scenario of having left versus right hate each other. And so far, it's succeeding.
I agree with that. I'm with you 100%.
In a way in which even I don't think any one of us can really calm it down unless there is a full-on agreement with everyone that's got a social media platform. You're like, okay, guys, look, before anybody else gets hurt, before anyone else thinks like they're the next George Washington or the next big revolutionary hero, okay? Because the thing is, taking out a podcaster, all what this punk did is make Charlie Kirk immortal. All right. And now the thing is, I don't want to speak for Charlie Kirk. I've never met him. I don't know him personally. I don't know anything about him. But I could tell you a couple of things that he'd be against. I think he would be against, but again, people engaging in violence at his vigils, or physically. If somebody's going to be there disrupting a vigil for him, first of all, I think that's scummy behavior. Somebody doing that. But also, number two, I think he would still want people to have dialogues and debates. Number three, I know people are right now getting fired from their jobs for posting very disgusting videos. I mean, there are consequences. Okay. I think he'd say let's laugh at them and mock them. I think these people were already going to get fired regardless.
No, he'd want them fired.
Okay, maybe so, whatever. But also number four, and this one really upset me. I don't think he'd be on board with South Park taking down his episode where they did a parody of him.
Oh, did they do that?
Yes, they did.
Take it down.
They did.
I did not know that, and I agree with you. That's
episode of 9/11, just like the Simpsons episode of 9/11 when they took that video down too.
That's a mistake. I agree with you.
That's a bad idea.
They should let
that happen.
By the way, Kaleena,
hold on, guys.
I feel bad for you.
Yeah. Kaleena's
What?
tonight.
What?
Kaleena, you didn't know the three of us are all Marines.
Yes.
Oh, they told me beforehand. No, I was telling them prior to us starting, this is like been a really heavy week. It's not, I have not talked politically in so long. I was like kind of almost like I don't know if I can jump in today because it's like it's such heavy stuff, and I was
I just wanted you back
preparing
in.
myself
So
for a later conversation.
I threw you into the pool, Kaleena. I'm like, you coming in? I'm throwing you in the pool. Get in.
No, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here because you will be the ocean of calm, relatively.
Yes, and I think the floor should go to her. The floor should go to her. The floor should go to her. Take it.
She is not the ocean of calm. I know her. She's not the ocean.
Well, I've become a lot more calm, and so something I'm going to say is that I mean, okay, obviously, what happened to that girl, what happened to Charlie Kirk are so horrible. Like it's been so awful to watch and see, all of this violence and everything. But it's also really hard to see the reaction. It's hard to see people getting so angry, which is exactly what we're talking about. And that does really, really, it's unsettling. It is really unsettling to see people getting so angry at other people who were not the perpetrator. They just, either aligned politically or didn't say the right thing or something. It is really hard because I do worry about how that's going to go. One thing I will say is that groupthink in our country is so powerful that it's like the next thing could come up and everyone can just sway and forget all about anything that happened. So it's like they just move with the waves so easily. It's like we're angry at this and we're angry at that.
It's exactly Mike's point that the woman Irina who was killed, she's forgotten now.
Yes. On to the next thing. Yeah.
I don't. Well, wait. Hold on. Let's take that back because I don't think that it's going to be brought up because this was her story was the last story that Charlie Kirk brought up. So no,
I hope you're right.
She is not going to be forgotten because look, here's the thing. Because I just want to kind of bring it back to another subject area here too. Not only will she not be forgotten because that was the last story that Charlie Kirk talked about, but also for the fact of look, there was this individual person. Monster who took her life. 14, maybe 15 other prior
14 arrests.
14 arrests out there already. I believe in second chances. Okay, I believe that people can reform. Okay?
Not 14th chance.
Not 14.
Chance, yes.
No.
Not 14th chance.
14 chances. No. After a while, it's like okay. Well, there's no helping you. But there is the problem of the fact of that's not going to be forgotten. And also what's happening here in Chicago, too. There were two major incidents that took place in the city. First of all, a major smash and grab on Michigan Avenue, where they hit a Louis Vuitton store. I mean, there was like 16 people who just rammed right in there. And then also recently, too, at Franklin Park, an ICE officer was ran over by a migrant that they were trying to detain. And that migrant was fatally shot. So there's going to be further escalation. I don't want to hear anyone talking about like as much as I want there to be calmness. No, not after what happened to Charlie Kirk.
All right,
that's not going to be reversing back. There's going to be
let me grab a couple more. I got to grab a couple more super chats, guys. I got to grab a couple super. Matt is wrong on this one. I love Matt, but he is utterly wrong. He says, "Sorry, Larry. Lou Malnati is it?" Malnati's is
Lou Malnati's. Lou Malnati's. Hey,
yes,
we're respecting the name.
That okay? Well, no, you don't know this, Mike. It's a Chicago joint.
I figured that part.
Yeah, but it's not true. It says, I love you. It's not true. I mean, okay, it's the best pizza. It's the best pizza in Chicago. There we go. That's what I'll say.
Chicago.
There we go. In Chicago.
In the country.
Some great places here.
Doesn't mean much. Just saying.
When we come to the Bronx, we got a couple of
I am shocked how good Bronx pizza is. People don't realize that the Bronx used to be heavily Italian. It's still Italian. It's still Italian, but it used to be heavily Italian. But yes.
You know what, guys? I'm canceling both of you. Okay, I'm going to go on social media and cancel everybody.
We're okay. Cancel. That's
good.
Can't
cancel me because I don't even eat pizza. Like,
there we go.
Oh, well, then you're already double canceled. Get out of here.
Why do that to yourself?
Yes. I actually don't eat pizza anymore either. I haven't eaten pizza in years.
It's weird, Larry, and you know it's computer, so forget.
I'm okay. I am clearly hotter than she is. Okay, so stop. I am clearly hotter. All right. So thank you very much. And I've been on keto for 15 years, so that's why I don't. But anyway, my point being, let me grab Roger if I could. Roger says I agree with the right, and Roger also leans left, by the way. But I think he's gonna be teasing me. He says the time for talk is over. The time for action. They mean violence, but the left means talk. I mean civil in terms of CBI amendments. For those of you know what CBI means. It is citizen ballot initiatives. Yes. And I have been early on, and this is, I don't know if you, if I think I told Roger this already. Early on, I was against this completely. If you go back like 2016, 27, about 10 years ago, I was against this imbalance because I was afraid. I thought, oh my God, they're going to turn the country to communism. And everyone's going to know, the government's going to control everything. They're going to make the government own everything. That was my worry. They were going to actually have the government own everything. That was my worry.
Okay.
And I am completely turned it around. I am actually not feel that anymore because it's the country's already going to hell. We need some way to fight the establishment. And I think CBI can absolutely fight the establishment. And I do not think that the country will all of a sudden give everything to the government, which is what I was worried about. I do think we will actually get some stuff for ourselves again, which I'm happy about.
Okay, before you go further,
go ahead.
Roger, of course you're going to be mad at me again because you're wrong. You are so wrong. Look, citizen ballot initiative, we can talk about that. We need more people, a wide spectrum of people on our ballots, able to have their voices. I absolutely believe in having every qualified candidate, and qualified means you're not crazy. Every qualified candidate that wants to run for whatever position should have the opportunity to be heard. I make a point of doing that on my program for the last 20 years. Fine.
That's, by the way, how me and Mike actually met. Me and Mike met because I was running as Libertarian, and he was the only guy in Broome County who would actually interview me. This is true. That's how we met.
Oh, wow.
And
yes.
Yeah, that is how we
Okay.
met. We were supposed to have 15 minutes. We spoke for 2.5 hours live, going back and forth. But so I do believe in that. So I agree with you on that part. But when you say that the right wants violence and the left wants to talk, you're wrong. Because that's why we're talking about this right now. And it's not the first time. The left wants to silence, and I'm talking about the far left. I'm talking about extreme. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm not talking about the rank and file people who are told just comply and be silent. I'm talking about the leadership. I'm talking about the activists, and they are trying very hard to be as violent because they can't answer the questions. They don't have solutions.
Well, the thing is, like, because when we talk about the left, like, here's the thing, like, this is something that I find very fascinating. That is, I can't even identify what it is anymore because it's been so heavily fractured. I mean, there was a unified movement in 2016 until Bernie Sanders revealed that he was a nutless cuck of a wonder, not only in 2016, but in 2020. And then the real great faction, big splinter happened in 2021, which was forced to vote. When the squad was confronted about Medicare for all at the height of the pandemic, Jimmy Dore, not his idea, from DSA about forced to vote, which turns out to be an effective strategy that Republican conservative Matt Gaetz proved is an effective tactic.
The Republicans used the same tactic.
He used it.
Wait.
So wait.
Before we say that the right is just as violent as the left, the right doesn't have autonomous zones. The right isn't going to every
We're talking about something different, Mike.
We're talking about something completely different. Okay, because again, because we're trying to describe what the left is.
Hold on, let me explain this, kid. For those of you who people don't know, forced to vote was a very savvy thing that I believe the DSA. I have talked. The DSA is actually one of the most effective caucuses in the Democratic Party. They got Mamdani. They are, when it comes to the Democratic Party, the DSA is very effective relative to any other caucus. It's not even close. They're very effective. So they were talking back in 2021 about the idea of we have to make a vote on Medicare for all. Knowing that they were going to lose. But the point was we have to make the push for this because now you will see who's on board and who isn't. That was the entire goal. And you will also push the Democratic Party to recognize I have to move forward on an issue. And they didn't do that at all. They backed off. But the Republicans said, that's a good idea. And Matt Gaetz did it.
Matt Gaetz proved it.
And that's why they shut the government down. That's why they couldn't get, what was that? They couldn't get that one guy to become Speaker of the House. They forced the vote on everything. It totally worked. The Republicans saw it and used it, and the Democrats didn't. I just want to make sure that's clear. Go ahead.
Exactly. And I just want to say, so when we're trying to describe what the left is, like after 2021, there's been splintering to where it is fractured apart, where even I was getting attacked over just basic. It's like, okay, well, I hear what a conservative and libertarian are saying. I agree with these perspectives. It's so fractured. So, Mike, when you're talking about the left, like the people who are the most extremists are the ones who claim to have influence and power, but they're holding on to the notion that it's still 2016. I think for the vast majority of people with the Democrat brand, especially after what happened in the 2024 election cycle, anyone that was part of the left is either tuned away from the Democrat brand, or either that no longer wants any association with the amount of extremism that is seen currently they're representing. There is a huge identity loss. There's nothing talking about labor or workers' rights. There's nothing talking about social issues. And the Democrat Party itself, AOC and Bernie, despite the oligarchy tour, what it is hopium copium to try and get people back on board. I think the problem is that there's a lot of mentally sick people out there who think that now going after the unified right, because there was some splintering with the right. Now I think now it's been unified, the likes of which we haven't seen since Trump's election of 2016 and 2024. But what we're seeing here is that there are some sick people who are also encouraged, dare I say it, I'm going to say this again, encouraged by larger Twitch platform people. I don't think we need to name certain names here, but there are certain people who have large influence on Twitch, for example, who make comments about certain politicians or people needing to go. And I think you know who I'm talking about, Larry.
Yes, yeah, but here's the thing I'm going to bring up here. I'm going to validate what you're saying. The Republican Party was having some problems with the side kind of, the alliance kind of breaking up. I think with Charlie Kirk getting hit the way he did, and as brutally as he died, I think you're right. I think this may start to unite some of the right, where it was kind of starting to fracture. It might come right back together. It's possible it could. I could definitely see that.
If it hasn't already, it's going to be cementing very soon. Which again, like the fracturing. I think what it was going to be Jeffrey E. That's what was called fracturing. And I think 100%. now my fear is that story going to be buried now.
They've been trying to bury it forever, man. All right, I got it, guys. I gotta take some more super chats, guys. I have to take some more super chats. I'm sorry, gotta do it. Roger, of course, was messing with Mike. He goes, "I only said that to trigger you, boss. I don't believe the entire right. Had to say it so you know how we feel when GOP equates Dems with commies. You've been punked." So yes, he just said he's messing with you, Mike. People do like messing with you, Mike. It's just true. They do.
That's true. They do. That's true.
But he does have a point, and it's a point that Kit and I often talk about too, which is, most people, when they say left, they are talking about establishment Democrats, and in reality, the left is not establishment Democrats.
I don't even know what the left is anymore.
Yes, they're all over the place.
There's no identity there. There really is.
And yes, Andrea. Okay,
this pizza thing, exactly. Great. This is the best comment ever. Chicago's the best pizza. And here's the thing. I like to say this. All pizzas are equal. To Chicago is the princeps. We are the first among equals. That's it. We are all equal. We are first among the equals. That's all. We are just first.
I've been to Chicago one time, and when I saw that pizza, I was scared. It had so much crust.
Thank you. It's not pizza. It's cake. It's cake.
It was so extreme. I was like, I cannot.
This is hate.
I've never seen anything like it.
Absolutely. By the way, Andrea just became a member for 10 months, guys. If you want to support the channel, please go member. Andrea, thank you for that. Please support the channel if you can. If you guys feel it's appropriate, obviously I want you guys to support the best of your ability. I know it's tough for me to get all of the comments when I have a show like this with a panel. I'm going to get to the comments. I promise I will. But if you want to become a members, I try to get to the front if I can. $49 per month. Click that join button. The more people who are joining my members I have, the less I have to work during the day, and the more time I can spend here with you guys. So it's better if we can do that, if at all possible. Also, of course, if you want your chat to go to the front, as you've been seeing, you can super chat me if you want to on YouTube. You can also rant me on Rumble. I'm on Rumble now too, so you want to go there. Either one of those work. It's great. Either way, do whatever you can. But no matter what, the free thing is click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Click that button. It does matter. It moves things forward. It gets Mr. Rhythm, Rhythm. It gets him liking us, and then he sends us out to more places. So please do that if you can.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but there was a short message right now where Erica Kirk just made her first remarks.
What happened?
I could send you the link right now. It's only 49 seconds, but I'm gonna send to you in private chat so you could check it out. So if you could pull it up here and we could at least listen to it.
I knew she was going to be making some kind of statement.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I
I think it's only fair because we are talking about her husband. And one other thing here too, people. I know a lot of people are really angry at the shooter. I get it, but
yes,
please, everyone, do not go after or hurt his family or they're like the father. They turned him in. Okay, I only can imagine the pain that they're going through too. Okay. Not trying to diminish anything, but everyone, please, like this is probably
okay.
gonna forever.
Guys, hold on. I'm gonna pop it in right now. Give me a second. I will pop it up right now so we can check it out. Let me put it in if I can.
good message, Kit. I agree. I support that as well. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Leave his family. He made a decision. The family did.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims.
Oh, was that it?
I think that
Was
might
that
have been
it?
49
No,
seconds. Was that really 49 seconds?
I guess so. Did I miss it? Hold on. Was that it? Let me just make sure.
No, I think
No, there's a little more.
Bravely to make sure that there were no other victims.
That's all. That was what you sent me. What you sent me. That's all there was.
Really? That was it? Because I think there's a little
Well, she
more.
paused, and understandably.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she's strong enough at the moment.
I'm sorry. There's actually 60 minutes. I sent you the wrong one. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's what I got. So I just showed that one. So but the point being is, look, she has to say something.
Yeah.
For her husband, of course, people want to hear what she has to say. And the part I'll bring up is whether you like Charlie or not. You know, to your point, Kit, the kids had nothing to do with it. The wife had nothing to do with it. Why are you going to punish them? I completely agree. It makes no sense whatsoever. So, Kaleena, what you were getting ready to say something?
No.
Okay. So I have a couple more I'm going to grab real fast. And this is correct. Phil says it correctly. Thank you for $2. He says Chicago pizza is lasagna, not pizza.
This is violence. This is violence. You know, first of all, again, like to quote the honorary Roman title, we are the princeps, the first among equals. We are the Augustus. All are equal, just we are the first among the equals.
Duke of Facts, thank you for the $5. He's with you, Kaleena. He says mental problems and radicalization go hand in hand. Most radicals don't have the stones to take the next step, but a young kid with issues just might. And I think that's very true. Most of the people that are all radicals are just talk. They're not ready to actually do something. There's a couple that can do it. And my issue with Duke, I think he's right on this one, is when you get certain drugs in your system, you may be more likely to actually do the thing that others might not do. So I do think they go hand in hand. And not just that, I think if you look at these, most of the side effects of these drugs, it's like suicidal ideation, it's violent thoughts, like it's all the things that someone who'd want to do this would want those things. It's all of them. I really think that there's some connection. I agree.
Yeah, I sent you the longer version of the video now. It's a Fox News link. It's 16 minutes. So I mean, if you want to play it, I mean, sorry I sent you the shorter one.
That's a tad longer. Yeah,
that's a tad longer. Yeah.
So, but yeah, do you guys want to hear some of it?
I mean, I think I don't know if it's imperative. I mean, what I mean, it's probably gonna be difficult to sit through, but I mean,
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm torn on that. I mean, I understand, but it's different than where we're going.
Yeah.
To an extent. So
exactly.
Kaleena, what do you think?
Well, so let me, if I could, grab. I have so many comments. Let me grab some regular comments that I have here, if I can. I'll try to grab some of the comments first. The members first. Kim, thank you for being a member. It's worse than radical. People are basing their hatred on rumors instead of facts, using force and complying with division.
True.
This part, I like what she's saying, because this goes to what you were talking about, Kaleena. We just hear something and we assume it's true, right? But only if my guy says so, right? So my guy says that this is right, therefore it's correct. It fits my narrative, that my preconceived narrative, so I agree. And then I start screaming, going, see, it was this guy, but maybe it wasn't.
You know, I when we look at like mental illness and radicalism, you know, when I was downtown covering the Labor Day protests, I saw a bunch of people there just holding up signs saying we're part of the resistance and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And you know, it's just stuff that I've seen before, and these are people that I've seen before on Wacker Drive protesting in front of Trump Tower. And I'm thinking, this probably gives you purpose in your life, that, you know, blocking the streets.
You are right.
Or either that there's some false community here, because here's the thing that I noticed after covering a lot of these activist groups. I mean, started off big. A lot of them started off big, had big venues, and then it kept on getting smaller and smaller and smaller, because again, the problem is that there's this puritanical thing that as soon as you're stepping out of line or you do something, or you're ostracized. And whatever remains is so close knit, it is almost impossible to really even talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring a piece that you brought with that, which was BLM, the riots for BLM. Okay. That was the perfect timing, meaning everybody was locked up, everybody was sitting in their homes. We hadn't gone out for freaking days, maybe weeks, some people months. We were scared of everything. We had nothing to do. We weren't going to work. We weren't doing anything, and all of a sudden, literally, we told all the youngsters, don't go to school, don't go to work, stay at home and watch Netflix. Then we said, but if you go out and riot, all good. And they went, wow, we get to go out and have a purpose. And they rushed out. There's no tomorrow. Now, where's BLM?
Oh, in their mansion.
Well, they're coming back.
In their mansion. They're in their mansion. They're in the mansion. True. Accurate.
Something I want to bring up, because Kaleena, in the green room, you were talking about Maha and some of your thoughts about that. And I'm listening to the comment, both the super chat and now just the comment just before. And I want to ask, Kaleena, because we were saying, can we pull back from the edge if we haven't leaped over? And I think we did. I think we've gone too far. But if we haven't reached that point of no return, do you think Maha is on track to help us with trying to get back to some kind of center?
I actually do think so. And now that Kit just made the point about, I forget exactly what you said, but basically, you know, you said people want like maybe a reason to be like validated, or they're doing something.
A reason to live, a reason, a purpose.
Yes, a purpose. So it's actually really hard to do something good anymore. Like, it's really hard to go out and positively affect the world. People feel really demoralized. It's almost easier just to tell somebody else they're doing something wrong than it is to actually create something good, because somebody else won't like it. Like, for instance, I raise pets. Like, they bring nothing but joy. I raise Persian cats. Do you know how many people online, though, hate me and say what I'm doing is horrible because I'm the reason that somebody else let their stray cat have a bunch of babies under, under a building? Oh yeah. And so everything you do that you think is bringing someone joy or beauty to the world or a good thing, somebody else doesn't like it. And so people get really, I don't get demoralized, I don't care, but people get really demoralized. So the Maha thing, the reason that I think it can be so powerful is because it's RFK, all these moms actually doing something good. And people might not agree with it, but some people will see that doing something positive on a large scale is still possible. And so I think that will bring get rid of some of that demoralization that we have as a society. Just that little win of, look, we did something to help the children, I think can go such a long way. And bringing the focus back to raising healthier children. thinking about all the ways we can make, you know, their childhoods, their health better, it's going to have a positive impact, because there's obviously something going on with like the, you know, 0 to maybe like 25 age range. That's where you see a lot of these shootings, a lot of these issues that are not just like crime based, you know, they're very like, you would almost think random, or they're radicalized. It's not just like, you know, basic crime that you would think of there. You know, if that makes sense, like school shootings, things like that. It's something new. And so I do think that if we can get this MAHA thing going, really bring the focus back onto like raising healthier people, healthier children, that we can have a chance. But I mean, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort
I
on
want to
everyone's
touch two
part.
pieces on this. Two pieces. One is, you're right, because even the people in the MAHA movement, they started getting mad because it wasn't good enough to their level.
Yes. Yeah.
Even they started getting mad. So like, if you, the for those of you who don't know, MAHA is about both food, it's about medicine, it's about lifestyle, like doing the 100 pull-up and 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups challenge, all that kind of good stuff, right? But many people came to the MAHA movement for their single issue. Like they only cared about this or they only cared about that. And if he didn't push the thing they wanted, they started getting angry. How come you didn't push my thing right away? So I think that happened too. But I'll go another piece on a positive level. And that is, even if someone doesn't like RFK and they think he's wrong or bad, what he did prove last year is if you run independent and you stick to your guns, you can influence the major parties. Trump did not have a policy on food or medicine at all prior to RFK Jr. That wasn't part of his platform. All of a sudden, RFK says, I got 2-3 million votes in my back pocket. You want those? And Trump was like, I would like those because I get a mandate with those. I would like to have that. And boom, all of a sudden, now Republicans have a MAHA movement. They didn't have it before. So I think that does show people you can, if you don't care about MAHA, great, have yours. To the point that Roger's talking about. Let's have a candidate who's running on citizen battle initiatives. And then that person can move, you know, what Democrats or Republicans, whichever side would want to do it, would jump on and make that happen too. So I do think both things. I think that the fighting, as you said, someone's pissed off, and there's a chance for hope, both.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, somebody in the chat already said they don't like breeders, but then they prefaced it with, if they're responsible, it's okay. But this is how we think, and I'm not trying to point that person out. I mean, like I said, I don't care. I love what I do, but we all have these ideas about everything that everyone else is doing. I don't like that you're doing this. I don't like that you're doing that. And, you know, it's like we've become so negative as a society, or so like on our high horse about stuff, you know, always thinking someone else is the problem, always thinking somebody else is destroying society. I think that when we talk, we need to, and no one's going to like this because everyone hates everything I say, but I think what we need to do is, like, if you're gonna say your opinion, like, at least try to think about how somebody else thinks or somebody else's point of view, and maybe just throw in a little nugget of, here's what I think, but I can also see why somebody else would think this. And I really think that if we had that humility in society and we treated each other with some respect, like, it would go a long way. And I know a lot of people are gonna think that's really unpopular and you shouldn't have to do that and everything, but I do think that and agree to disagree are like things we used to have in society that we just like do not have anymore. And it's just, we're really like causing our own pain. So
now I'm going to make some people angry when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. This was the left's fault. And I don't usually pick a left or right side, but the left-leaning side, what they did more than anything else is they said, silence is violence. They said, words are dangerous. They said the right didn't say that the left did that first, and the right did some of that too. Some of that.
If I can add,
I want to give one more. Sorry, after you, I want to give an example.
If I can add a caveat, and okay, I'll agree to the point that the left did that first, but also don't forget that the left did it also to the left too. Like there's been a lot of infighting, like that's where the fighting has happened. Like the left,
that's correct.
You know, in many ways, you could argue that when the liberal Democrats and I guess society and everything else before the internet really took off, everything else, you say that the liberals did win the culture war for a time being until they won it all, and then come by 2016, 2020, the mass cannibalism happened and the great fights happened. And
it's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
They had so much hubris, they thought they can go as far as they wanted. They thought they could just keep going, and they went too far. And the far they went, as I said it before, is they went to the kids. You can't mess with the kids. That was a bridge too far. You can't mess with the kids. They were winning, and then they went with the kids. And I was like, nope. Now you done messed up. Now
winning, but
well,
yes.
they were
I mean, there was.
They were winning.
There was a momentum of winning, and then finally it just
crashed.
Was, and then it
they
fell
went
down.
too far. Dude, they were silencing us, Mike. They were clearly winning. They were silencing us. You saw it.
Look how many times like myself, I've been hit too. I mean, it's ridiculous. There were points. Listen, I still remember times when my channel was getting 3,000 viewers on a show. Okay, and I still get messages from people like, "Oh my God, you're still alive. What happened?"
You know? Yeah, Kaleena, you were going to say something. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, okay. So obviously, like, one person can always start something. So here, I'll use this example that a lot of people can probably relate to. So, like, I am divorced, and when you get divorced, people get in their feelings, right? One person always acts nasty first, and then the second person has to say, am I going to act nasty too? And then meantime, you have lawyers who want you to act nasty because they want to make more money. And the thing is that in that situation, everyone on your side, because it's like the left and the right, everyone on your side is telling you, well, they did this and you should do that and you need to fight them and you shouldn't put up with that. Everyone in your ear, the lawyer, your family, everybody.
Yep.
Who does that serve? No one. In the end, you have to be the bigger person or you will fight for years. I've seen people fighting for years, losing all their money, tied up with issues, alienating their children. Today, my son's dad picked up my son from school because he does. And I was like, oh, it happens to be time. I'm passing through. I'm going to stop. I sit in the car with him. We greet my son together. I give my son a hug and they go off and have a great weekend. That would not be possible if I couldn't be the bigger person sometimes, and him too. I'm sure he had to sometimes think he was being the bigger person also. But if we can't do that, we'll never have that moment of sitting together and being like, you know, we don't agree with each other. We think differently, but we're showing up for, you know, our kid or the youth of America or whatever it is. So I really do think that we can't do that. He did it first thing.
Let me bring up this real fast if I could. Hold 1 second, Mike. I'm going to bring a difference. People get confused between sympathy and empathy. And what you're talking about is empathy. Empathy is understanding what the other person's thinking, trying to put yourself in their head. Sympathy is feeling sorry for them. You don't need, they don't have to be together. They can be totally separate. But if you have some empathy, I think that's what you're talking about.
But
and sometimes they aren't doing the right thing, but you still have, if you can be more fair and concede a little bit, you disarm their anger, you know, and that is something. No, you don't think so? Okay.
No,
you tell me your example.
I wasn't meaning to cut you off, but
that's okay.
My and maybe it's me. It could be a me thing, so I'm willing to admit that. But see, there's a difference. I agree with you, like Kit and I, and even Larry and I. Sometimes on some issues, we are absolutely on opposite sides. But I can hear their point. I can respect their point of view. I can respect the passion that they have. And I can completely disagree with it and tell them to their face, I think you're still wrong. But that's fine. I get that. And then there's, and I've been at protests, I've covered events, and I've listened to many of the speeches, the autonomous zones, the Antifa, and that extreme. And willing, absolutely. It's an extreme. It's not reflective of everyone, but they exist and they are loud and they are active. I cannot empathize with that. I cannot understand that. They are anti.
Yeah, but hold on. If you do that, Mike, then you only have two options, and this is the issue. I either and this is where I stand. You have two options. Option number one, okay, I cannot understand them at all. Therefore, I must destroy them. And when I say destroy them, I mean literally. That is my option. I must destroy them, or I must live with them in some way, shape, or form. Okay, right? Those are my two choices.
You know me. You know which choice I'm going to pick, because
I understand.
it's not that what I do understand about them. I can't understand why they would choose the things they choose, but the things they choose are destructive, vile, demonic, and evil. The autonomous zones are vile and evil.
Do you remember? Hold on. Do you remember? This is an important piece to remember.
But most of the autonomous zones like now gone, because even when that was attempted here in Chicago, because when Sona was attempted here in Chicago, like that failed miserably.
Yeah, but they're still doing them. There's one in Berkeley right now. The Defenders of the Atlantic Forest exists right now. There are many of them across the country. They just don't get news anymore. They're still there. They're still trying.
Let me walk down this road with you, though. All right. Remember when they were having the BLM riots, and there was that one woman. She was, I don't remember her name, but she was very famous. And people were interviewing her and saying, "Why are you guys burning this stuff down? You're burning your own neighborhoods down, right? What are you doing?" And she yelled. She goes, "We don't own this shit." That was her response. Now, people might go, "That's still dumb. You shouldn't do that," whatever. But that's the mindset. The mindset is, no, I no longer own my own neighborhood, so why do I care? Now, again, you can disagree with that, but how can you get her to change her mindset if you don't understand where she's coming from? That's empathy. You don't have to agree. I don't even have to feel sorry for her. I can think she's crazy and silly if I want to, but I need to understand where her head is. That's empathy. So I can move her, or I have to arrest all of them, put them all in jail, which I know you're okay with. But I'm not okay with that.
Well, one, I am okay with arresting violent and corrupt, demonic people. Yes, I am. I have no problem with that. But at the same time, I'm not talking about her because she's at least speaking. She's voicing an opinion that I can actually, or an ideology that I can address, that I can say, here are the flaws, here are my objections to it, here, prove me wrong, tell me how I understand it. That's great. And we can do that. That's, again, Charlie, Kirk, you, Kit, me, we all have these conversations. That's what we're there for. But especially for people who don't speak as well or know the issues as well, the general public, they rely on us to ask those questions and to answer those questions. Okay. But I'm talking about people who are, again, when we're talking about the Antifas of the world, when we're talking about these extreme radical groups, the progressive leaders of tomorrow. No, I want them gone. I want them gone.
Yeah, I guess maybe the point that I didn't make that I should have is that I'm talking about like the 80% of people on that side that are kind of like getting rallied around by those more extreme groups and everything, like your neighbors that are on the left, or just, maybe they want abortion rights or something like that, something I don't agree with, but, trying to bridge that gap with them, the normal person, the everyday person, because if I can do that, they're not going to see me and everyone on my side as the enemy, or everyone from my belief system. So I'm more talking about like 80% of regular people, not necessarily this.
Kaleena, this is, and she's right for a more important reason, Mike, because those people who are the radicals, they are protected or tolerated by the 80%, right? If the 80% go, I'm not going to tolerate this because Kaleena has addressed my issue. She's given me respect, so I think I can talk to her and have my issues addressed. I no longer tolerate those people. It's what Mao said. Mao said the peasants are the ocean in which the fish of the revolution swim. If the peasants don't keep them, then there's no place for them to go, right? In a case of the peasant revolutions in China. In this case, it's the 80%. Now, we see it happen. Who turned in the shooter? It was his dad. It was the 80% who turned in the shooter. She's exactly correct. Now, I personally think that's fucking horrible. I would never turn my daughter in. But still, the point still stands. It was the 80% who turned the 20% in. I think she's right, Mike.
Yeah, I have to say again too, just adding on to the point, the father turning in the son, or at least family members, turning in, Tyler Robinson, Tyler Robertson, that's his name.
Yep.
Handing him in. I mean, has to be the most insane, difficult, mentally draining, exhausting, and traumatic situation you ever have to go through. But it should show that there's a lot of people seeing that, like, hey, a crime was committed. There's no way that you're going to be seeking safe grounds here. You did something wrong. And obviously we need to find out more behind the story. But I think the bigger issue here is that, look, there's a lot of scared people out there. Okay, after what happened to Charlie, after what happened to the young woman on the train, and even with some of the stuff that we see on social media, all the crimes and everything else, I think for the vast majority, of people are scared, they're frightened, and they're going to be emotionally now reactive towards what happened to Charlie Kirk. You see his wife giving an address. You see that his business, Turning Point America, Turning Point USA, my apologies for that. They did a live stream and his seat was empty, and I think there's scared, frightened people. And I think, again, as I said before, I don't want to speak for Charlie, but I think Charlie would be saying, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't fall into fear. I don't think he would want people to be disarmed and want to cause, maybe, again, not saying violence towards one another, but to where there's like, okay, I'm not going to talk to you. I don't think that would be on his agenda. And I think
he recently had, I think it was about a month, within the last month, he had an interview, and prescient, he actually spoke about what would happen after he passed. He had some fears, and exactly what you're saying is exactly what he said.
So again, it's more of like, okay, what can we do now? Well, I want to have out hope. All right. Because that's my biggest weakness. It is my weakness. And I view it as a weakness, I'm
the opposite, brother. I keep fighting. I always got hope.
I know. But I mean, like, my bleeding heart, because I try to see the good in people, and it's cost me dearly. It has, mentally and emotionally. But I would say right now, what we can do is still do the news, do commentary, talk, debate, maybe contribute to a better future, inspire people to run for office, like how you, Larry, are running, or like how even Jose Vega, who's independent. He's different than me, but he's running differently. He's running for office. I mean, we're seeing people take action, and that's 100%. What we need to see. Citizen ballot initiatives, like Roger Meadows is talking about, like constructive things that could do good. You don't have to like but if it's going to do good and not harm, great. Do I think right now the mindset is people are going to go for that? I think people are afraid and very fearful. And I'm proud that I at least have a very diverse audience where I'm saying, okay, we got to work together. We're not going to, I don't want us all to be kumbaya friends, but we can at least.
I do. Why can't we be kumbaya friends?
Well, I mean, look, the realism, but the realism is at least.
Kaleena's on my side. You guys are wrong. We're right. You guys are wrong. We're doing kumbaya.
I just think that the process is we have to do constructive good, be it online and building our communities, being leaders for our communities, and trying to help each other out. I think right now the fear, though, is that the visceral and very graphic shooting of Charlie Kirk has revealed not only there are sick people out there, but there are people who are going to get emotionally reactive towards them and be like, okay, well, they're my enemy. That's yes. I mean, people acting like that do need to be held accountable for their words. Okay. But those people are probably going to get fired regardless of their actions.
But hold on. You said held accountable. I want to touch a couple of these pieces. When it comes to people, for those of you who are listening and don't know, there's a movement now from the people who supported Charlie Kirk to look at the people who are gleefully, talking about his death and then getting them fired and doing cancel culture. And generally speaking, I hate cancel culture. Mm-hmm. In this case, no, I'm good. I'm totally fine. And the reason I'm totally fine is every one of those people would have done exactly the same to reverse. If you were someone who was gleefully about Charlie Kirk, you were a cancel culture warrior. So if you get that in return, I'm okay. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Those people deserve it. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure we're talking about people getting canceled like that, not getting aggressively assaulted, that we're clear on that piece. Now, Mike is smiling because he's like, that's okay too. But I'm not saying that.
Because it's not canceled. That is a direct look. They had their free speech. Fantastic. Won't stop them. Mm-hmm. And they have a consequence for that because we have a society that unanimously agrees that reveling in the death of a father because he spoke some words and you had a feeling, that's unacceptable.
They're dangerous, Mike. These words are dangerous.
You know what? I listen to. There are no words so dangerous in and of themselves that are not insightful, that are justify murder. cold-blooded murder. There is no such thing as
not just murder, public murder in front of his family. I want to make sure that's clear. This was not just murder. This was public execution in front of his family. I completely agree. Let me grab a super chat before we go on. Roger says, don't call them left, but pretendian left. Roger gets mad when I attack the left at all. So yeah, I get it. So go ahead, Kaleena.
So, well, I wanted to say, obviously, you know, people should not be celebrating, saying anything positive about that or posting any of that stuff online. That's all horrible. Sure. But I will say, you know, for the people that, you know, are, which I didn't know too much about Charlie Kirk. Like I did have some disagreements with like some of his TikTok ideas and stuff. But when I saw all the pictures of his beautiful family and what it looked like, he looked like such a genuinely like great husband, great father. And when I saw that, and it's so sad that he, you know, that he died so young and that they won't get to know him and everything, it made me think like, you know, shouldn't I want to be better? Not that I don't think I do pretty good already, but I wish more people wanted to honor his memory on the right by being a better, you know, father, mother, parent, like, you know, guiding, honoring him by like saying they're going to do stuff in their community, things like that. Instead, it seems like everyone is glomming onto getting angry at people who are doing the opposite. And that again is because people are so demoralized. They don't think, oh, well, I can't be the next Charlie Kirk, so what I do doesn't matter. So instead I'm going to get angry at this other person. And
I'll go
it just
even
feels
further with this.
Yeah.
I have seen people on the right who try to do this. And other right people attack them. What you're saying, like I've seen guys go, hey, why don't we now do this thing to Kit's point? Why don't we do this thing in his honor? And then their chat hammer them. Oh, you're a wimp. You're scared. You don't want to do what needs to be done. I've actually seen that actually.
That'll happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's so like you're gonna listen to these like low vibration comment, you know, like the angry little comments and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's the angry comments.
I can't be better now.
Yeah, look, I've had people like, here's the thing, doing this now for 8 years, I've had my fair share of running in with people on the left and the right who like say, well, you're not going to do the next step. I had one person say to me, and I posted this on one of my social medias. I won't say where though. I said, this is a terrible tragedy. What happened to Charlie Kirk? Said, well, gee, I guess that means you're not willing to do the extra step. Extra step for what?
Yeah.
Extra step for what? Like even on the right, like if somebody who's on the right saying like, hey guys, let's do this peaceful vigil in honor. Is there going to be people saying, oh, you're not doing the next step? Like, next step for what? What do you want me to do? Go to jail for you? I don't think so.
Yep.
Like, come on. Like, here's the thing. Everybody's saying that they want, like, I'm hearing the loudest voices saying civil war, civil war, civil war. I don't want that smoke. I ain't ready for that. And I don't want to be sitting on top of the piles of bones of the deceased of somebody who I don't know. So here's the thing. Everyone does. I understand everyone's angry and everyone has a right to be angry. But when our emotions get the better of our critical thinking, that's when we go to the point of no return. And the thing is, the dead will be looking at us with absolute disdain, and future generations will be looking at us with embarrassment. Like, you let it really get this far and you didn't even think it through. When there's still the option of, again, folks, we can calm everything down if we don't let all the crazy emotional idiots out there who clearly need to see a doctor get the better of our thinking. Okay, the people who are cheering for Charlie Kirk demise are getting fired. Okay, but now for the people who are calling on the right, who are calling for more, it's like, well, geez, you got a hammer in your hand. Are you going to turn that on your fellow rights? Because I've seen that on the left, and it could happen.
Well, let me address that a little bit, because I watch a lot. I'm on the right, and I've also seen and heard a lot. I can tell you that within the first 24 hours, most of the people who were saying, no, it's game on, that was a visceral, emotional reaction, anger, part of moving through that acceptance of Kirk being gone, and also acknowledging that the furthest extremists have always wanted to harm us. And so they were reacting to that. Now, what you've seen in the latest 24 hours, and I think going forward, is you're hearing more and more from a lot of the leadership, mostly the right-leaning leadership that people are on the right listening to, are coming out and they're saying, oh, hang on, Charlie wanted us to talk. He wanted the peace. And while I'm reluctant and I'm pissed off, and I do want justice, and I do want this kid, Tyler, if he's guilty and we get the evidence, I want him strung up. I want him to go in front of a firing squad. Absolutely.
There is death penalty in
yeah,
Utah.
Yeah, there's a death penalty in Utah. He's going to face the firing squad. It's going to happen.
Great, and I'm happy for it. And I am. But at the same time, I am telling people that no, we still need to talk. We still need to have conversations, even with people on the left, even with people we don't agree with. And that's the message I am hearing from all the big names and all of us in the middle and even those in the small. And there are people who are saying, but I want to fight. Those are people who are still angry.
Yeah.
Anger tends to go away in
time.
about 3 days, 3 to 5 days, like most riots. 3 to 5 days.
Anger is gone for a while, my friend. It could last longer than 3 days. Depends on how deep the hate is.
Let me grab someone off of Instagram. Petron says, I've seen the hatred myself, and it's straight up demonic. Not advocating violence, but we have to root out and crush this movement of hatred. Some ideologies are prone to violence. Address it. That's a tough one. I get what Patron's saying, but then who decides, right? Who the bad person is? What's the line? That's always my worry. And here's my next worry, which is, well, now we take this tragedy as a reason to crack down on the bad guys, and the bad guys always wind up being the people who are not part of the establishment. How does that always wind up happening? That is my worry.
Sometimes just because they're not part of the establishment, or rather I should say, that's irrelevant to the fact, or do they deserve it? It's like, oh, well, we're arresting black people as an example, and maybe it's not the best analogy, but I'm thinking fast here. Oh, I'm arresting black people in a poor neighborhood. Is that racial? Did they do the crime? If they did the crime, if the consequence of what they have done is, okay, they get arrested, fine. If we're going after, and again, I say Antifa because they're the most clear example of this, and they are on record being the most violent and wanting the most violent revolution in America, and they are the most extreme of the left, then yeah, we go after them. And we go.
But what happens, Mike, is things like Patriot Act, right? That's where I go to. Something bad happens, we get Patriot Act. Patriot Act has had such horrible consequences, and it's embarrassingly bad, the horrible consequence Patriot Act has had. And this is what I'm worried about.
Okay.
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
Sure.
No, go ahead, Glenn.
Well, so I've been thinking about this with everything, like the way that society is now. Do you ever question if we actually can handle like a libertarian society? Are people to the level of responsibility that they can handle a libertarian society? Okay, so it was a clear, easy answer for you.
Which is, yeah.
I didn't know this was an awkward question.
This is why.
Yeah.
No. This is why you hear me. Look, I run for office. I go out of my way and I make the most libertarian policies I possibly can make. And none of my policies are ever get rid of
really
it.
Libertarian.
Because I know that what proved this to me at least, what proved this to me was the lockdowns. The lockdowns prove that most communities have lost the institutional knowledge to support themselves. Most don't have it. Some showed they did have it, and that was the amazing part. Some have it, but so many don't.
I think it also showed how subservient we are. The lockdowns showed how easily we can be made afraid. How we can actually end our own sanities and ability to stay alive. Yes. And at the same time as well, what we will sacrifice in regards to our freedoms. So now they know what they can do to us. That's a big thing. It's about control and influence. And the thing is, for those who think that, that's never going to happen again, no, don't wait up. They'll come here soon enough. After all, hey, the next big fear is this unknown alien object coming from deep space to be here sometime between November and December. I mean, again, it's stupid as hell. Anyone thinks that it's a UFO, get over yourself. But it's like there's always something to cause people to be afraid, and the lockdowns showed that fear is a powerful weapon, and a lot of us fell for it.
It is.
You know?
You're not wrong. It is a powerful weapon. It is.
Kaleena, you asked the question to me directly. And I agree.
Yeah,
in large part with both Kit and Larry on this, but a little bit different. Fear has been something that's been used forever. It's
true.
And people who've been in charge with the best intentions and the worst all use fear to varying degrees. The problem is today, because of technology, we're able to amp up the fear, and we can do it 24 hours a day, instantaneously, no matter where you are, as opposed to I had to go to the courthouse, or I had to go in front of my local politician, or I had to wait for a newspaper a week later, or a letter in the mail. There was a delay. It could be diffused. That was different. So that's the difference today versus the past. In terms of, could we ever see a libertarian government? And I know people will point to Milei down in Argentina. Fantastic. They're doing great. They're a tiny little nothing. Is it going to happen in America? No. Individual libertarians, yes, they can be elected. Local, state level government, I could see it. Do I personally see a libertarian president, vice president, cabinet? No.
I could see cabinet. I could see cabinet as a way of pacifying libertarians. I could see cabinet.
Well, I mean cabinet under a libertarian president, libertarian vice president. I don't see that structure. I do see individuals that are well worth it. As a matter of fact, I've said it publicly. Larry, I respect you and I support you. You run for something, I want to be there to help you out. And I'm a conservative Republican, but I have spoken with you. We've hashed out all kinds of issues. Still don't always agree on a bunch of things, but I respect your heart, your intention, and the fact that you have solutions. So and maybe that's the answer, Kaleena. Do I see America saying, yes, this individual, yes, the libertarian ideology, especially as an organization? No. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I agree with that. I was more trying to ask if we even think that society could handle if there was a world where it was a libertarian society. It just feels like people are very low on responsibility right now, which is a high. It's like the most important thing in a libertarian society. I don't know how we get that back. I mean, like I said, I'm hoping that some of the trickle down from the Maha might help, just kind of like boosting morale. But I don't know, because it also seems like they're going to move in a more authoritarian fashion for a lot of, things with Trump, and that will kind of lower people's sense of personal responsibility. So
I am with you. The way we fix it, if we can at all, is by growing tighter communities. If we can grow tighter communities that can support each other, then we have an opportunity to have libertarian communities, and then they can begin to grow. Now, could it become a nation? Maybe, but not in my lifetime. I mean, it could happen. You never know. If we would have to have a long shift of generational pieces where generational communities are kept together for generations. I think it could happen in the future. I don't know if I could see it. I hope so. But I'm just being realistic. I don't see it.
Yeah, I agreed with Michael on that. I don't think it would necessarily happen. I just meant like if there was a situation,
So let me grab some more of I got to grab some more of these chats, guys. We're way behind us on the chat. Let me grab some. Roger, thank you for the $5. He says, opposite Larry, Malcolm X said, if you don't give MLK what he wants, my supporters will turn this mother out. Is that what happened? Okay, I believe you. I don't remember that part, but Roger pays attention. That's probably true. So, okay, I knew it was something like that. The point was
one or the other.
Deal with the guy who wants to talk, or we'll deal with the guy who has the firearms.
Yeah, so I think that's the problem now is Charlie being gone. Like there's even now looking at social media, there's good luck in calming down. Like after 2 days, no, and even then 3 days, I think no. There's the hate and anger, rage and fear is going to be very, very visceral and very real for the next couple of weeks. I mean, this was all online. You had a bunch of dumb idiots, millions of people, cheer for joy. Look, I don't want to be causing anything, but the Vanguard, you're familiar with the Vanguard, right? The
I've been on that show before.
Yeah, the Vanguard.
They're out of Missouri, I think, right? Kansas City?
Yeah. Well, I had one of my viewers, and I will keep them anonymous, send me a screenshot of their thumbnail for Wednesday in regards for what happened to Charlie Kirk. And in the screenshot for the thumbnail of what the Vanguard posted was Charlie Kirk leaning in his chair. Like there's 3 different pictures of Charlie Kirk, and one of which of where he got shot, or not seeing the blood come out. But it's just like, when you post stuff like that, share it on social media, anything else of that nature. Look, I'm all for free speech and the First Amendment, but like I said, I want to hold out for hope that clearer minds will prevail and dialogue will.
Yeah, but just because you can doesn't mean you should.
There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of, and I'm not going to tell anyone, especially people who knew Charlie Kirk, to calm down. But I mean, at the same time, I'm afraid that somebody else is going to be next because. It's like this is on kind of right now, and it is on. And to say that, like, because I went to a baseball game, Mike, and you told me, hey man, just be careful. I'm like, I'm nobody really. At the end, when it comes down to it, I'm really like, they're not this high key player, but when I was at that baseball game, the White Sox won, whoop-de-doo. But I was thinking, like, is this going to be the calm before the storm, before everything else goes to crap? Because that's what
Mike was bugging me too, because Mike knows that back in 2018, when I was actually making some impact, I had two death threats that we thought were real too. The one upstate was fine because I had the Lightfoot militia was running my security, so we were totally fine. I had an entire squad. I was good to go, right? Everybody decked out. But then I had one when I was downstate, and as you know, downstate New York, you're not allowed to defend yourself. You cannot. You're not allowed to defend yourself. So I had to go in cold, just hoping that I never told my wife. I just called her up, told her I loved her. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. And I walked in, hoping nothing happened. Nothing happened. It wasn't real. But we didn't know that. We didn't know, or they got scared or whatever. But no, it's a valid point. It's a valid concern that things can get more violent. Yes, that is a worry. So
and it probably will. But my concern isn't the short term with a lot of things that I speak about. I know the public is used to the idea of short-term answers and responses.
Yes. Yep.
I don't look at it that way. I'm looking at medium and long term. Yes, in the immediate short term, there will be probably a action and reaction based on directly coming out of what happened with Kirk, one way or the other. But beyond that, because that's the immediate, that's the lingering last embers of the emotion, and then people are going to sit back down, and we're going to have hopefully the leadership and notable voices and even unnotable voices. We're going to sit back and say, but wait, because we'll destroy each other in this process. And civil war, no one wants a civil war. I've seen people saying that. You don't want that. No one wants that.
I don't.
Do I think the right to win? Yes, but what will it cost to do that? What kind of devastation? It will destroy America. America will no longer exist.
So let me, if I could, I got to grab some other stuff here if I could, guys. One piece I want to grab is Kit has been attacked like there's no tomorrow. I know I say it a lot, but I mean it. It has actually happened. Yeah, so guys, if you want to support him, please do so. If you would head over to his GoFundMe. That's it right there. If you would do so, if I could get one of my mods to post it in the chat, head on over there. And here's what I'm going to do. I've donated many times. I'll do it again. I will match the first $100 that people give to Kit. I will match it myself so that we can keep going on and helping out Kit to move this forward. He has been getting his ass kicked, and he needs to not get his ass kicked.
Well, I would
he
say
keeps fighting. He keeps fighting back.
Here's the thing. It's just that, 2 weeks ago on Sunday, we got this minute order from the judge because the plaintiffs tried to put a protective order and gag order. So we couldn't even talk about this case anymore. And I just want to point out too, that my GoFundMe, like the transfers were halted not once, but 5 times,
That's what I'm saying. They keep hitting you.
And the thing is that, you know, the judge, you know, if you read the because we did put down like the, you know, minute order, like what happened, you know, just said, well, first of all, I actually got my favorite part of the quote right there is the plaintiff seeks gag order to prevent defendant's agents from publicly discussing the case and information obtained through discovery. Although the plaintiff includes section titled legal basis in its motion, it merely cites 2 Supreme Court cases without explaining the relevance to the current issue or relief sought. And here's my favorite thing here too. Conclusory statements about privacy rights violations are insufficient to warrant a protective order. None of the information plaintiff says defendant discussed publicly is private in nature or designated as confidential, notably having chosen to sue defendant in public forum. The decision makers for plaintiff entity have accepted a certain loss of privacy. This court will not act as a civility enforcer. So they're trying to keep me quiet from talking about the case. And it's just like, okay, I have to talk about it. My channel got terminated. I'm in this fight. It's the dumbest thing that myself and Daniel have ever been a part of. I'd rather be walking late at night unarmed on the south side of Chicago. I'd rather be doing my tours again in Iraq than doing anything like this. This is the dumbest thing. The stupidest thing ever. So if anybody can help out with our GoFundMe, share it to any groups, allies, friends, buddies, pals. Read our story, hear our SOS, and you know, this will end. But I just got to tell you, I'm glad that the judge just dismissed their protective orders. Like, this, get this out of here.
Now you get to do something at least. I like that. So let me.
Any part of the South Side, Nick. That's what you said. Like, what part of the South Side? Any part of the
Nick
South
says,
Side.
yeah, what part of the South Side? Yes.
Any
absolutely.
Any part. I'd rather be doing that unarmed, walking around at midnight. Okay. There you go.
James says, these people attacking Kit just want a one-party dictatorship. Who knows if they are far-right Democrats or far-left Republicans? That's cute. Far-right Democrats or far-left Republicans. That's great. Shelley says, gag order should be temporary until the verdict is read and it disappears. Just saying, free speech. Oh, I like that. So people are paying attention. Yes. Dave, Mike's, he thinks you're wrong, Mike. He says, Mike, they want a civil war because they think it'll last a day or two and their side will win. And then they'll get to unalive the losers. The reality is it'll probably last 20 years. I think Dave's right, Mike. I think a lot of these people actually do want civil war. I think they do. I think that Dave is correct. I think they believe, well, my side's the right, cool side, so we're just going to get rid of all the other losers because they're all losers, and then it's going to end like that. I think they honestly believe it.
I think the majority don't think that. I think there's, you know, think of it like a mafia. You got your low-end grunts that just go out and do the muscle work.
Right.
But they don't know anything. They don't know what's going on. They just do what they're told. And then you move up the channels, you can get people who are more intelligent, more knowledgeable, more involved as you go up and up the chain. Yeah, I think there may be some low-level grunts of Antifa that think they could actually win a civil war and that it'll be fun and it'll be good until the second it starts and they see what it really is. But I think anyone who truly understands the consequences, anyone who actually has foresight, whether they're military or they're just looking at the nature of the consequences, they don't want that. There are fringe that'll want it. I don't think the majority do, and I don't think the leadership of the majority want that. And I hope it will hold sway.
Let me go more. James goes on and say someone else is already going to be next. This is what you were talking about, Kit.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, it's a matter of how they will prepare for it. Sadly, this shouldn't be Soviet. It should be some. Some will remain unprepared without solutions that actually work. And that my worry is, again, the next guy or gal who gets hit will be someone who's actually trying to fix something. And the guy who's not, they'll be fine. That's my other worry.
Fuentes, of all the things, Fuentes is still around. And I keep hearing people say he's so great. He's a lunatic. He has been, I just want to.
He's a fellow Chicagoan too. I didn't know that for a while.
He's one of yours, Kit. That's because the pizza. That's the problem. The pizza.
No, hey! Well, don't put that evil on me. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
That cake on inside the in the basement there. He's a nut job. By the way,
Liberty Lady says thank you. $2. Thank you for coming on, everybody. She just tells us all thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. So, but go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry. Talking about Fuentes.
Well, he's a nut job, and he was always denounced. He was never real. He was being used by mainstream media as a boogeyman, and that what kept him what kept him afloat. He had a fringe, but
I think even him and Kirk had a little bit of a beef too for a while.
Yeah,
or something.
They did because everyone on the right had a beef with him because
that's one of the I guess conspiracy theories, if you want to call it that, is that this was actually Fuentes did this, that his people did it because of civil war and whatever. That's one of the, I'm not joking. That's one of the conspiracy theories that Fuentes is behind it. His people, they call it the Groiper Wars. I don't know what that means, but that's what they call it.
It's his name. No, him and his people don't have the balls to do anything. So no, I don't think that's it. I think
okay. I'm just telling you that's one of the things they're saying. That's all.
That's what's out there. Allegedly, what's out there.
Correct.
Okay, so
yes, that's what people are saying. So yes, Dave goes on to say, actually, homemade pizza is number one.
Oh,
it's not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah,
that's not bad. Okay,
but Chicago style is the best, though.
Oh God.
Boo. Okay, Nick is messing with you, Mike. He says Richard Grove goes 12 hours on Sunday. See, I don't know. See that? He got you, Mike. He got you. See that?
You know what? Richard Grove is not a handsome black Hispanic man.
True. Also true.
And the audience can't handle more than the many hours I give them every Sunday. I mean, there's only so much they can handle. So there's only so much they can take at one time.
There we go. Mike says, this was a shame. He never hurt anyone. It's a valid point. But to be forward, in the minds, and this is the part that does bother me, in the minds of many of the people who were happy about this, they believe in their hearts, they're not making this up, that words are violence. That yes, you're right, but they believe it. They believe words are violence. They believe that they call him a Nazi, of course, and they've been doing it forever. They have made it to where this becomes. So you've asked, they will tell you, they've done interviews. He's dead. Good, he was a Nazi. He was an evil man who only hurt people. And I'm like, that. None of that's true.
I've never seen Charlie Kirk grab a baseball bat and start taking a swing at people. Okay,
never.
He's never done that. I think people were offended. You know what I think it is? I think there's that secondhand or that firsthand or maybe parasocial relation which people are jealous at a content creator because they want to do what they see. And when you see stuff like this, I've had one person say, oh, what you do is easy. You're not putting any order in your work. Like, what I do is easy? Oh, I didn't get the memo. By the way, everybody on this panel, is what we do here when we do our contents and show easy? No, it is not. Sometimes you don't get a bouquet of roses. And when you deal with censorship and suppression and termination and other bullshit like I'm dealing with, it's not an easy road. But when people look at Charlie Kirk and be like, oh, well, how dare he? He put in the time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he was able to do what he had to do. And I think, if anything, if you are so upset at Charlie, defeat him in his best territory, not through violence, but debate him. Be that person that owns Charlie Kirk. But no, can't have that now.
The right answer was next week he was supposed to debate Hassan.
Yeah.
That was the right move.
Yeah.
Right? That was Hassan's on the left. He's the popular left young guy.
Let's not put too much on Hassan. Hassan's a whole other can of worms.
It doesn't matter. He's very popular. He's very popular. That's true, whether you like what he says or not. He's very popular. He's young. He's exactly the right guy to go up against Kirk. Totally the right answer, and that's done. So let me grab a couple more if I can. I got so many of these if I can. See, Nick's is what I said. Fuentes took out Kirk in the first move of the Groiper War. See, I wasn't making that up. See,
Dr. Nick is one of my best Legionnaire commanders. I trust him with my life.
There we go. Matt says, I'm convinced, that country, I don't want to get canceled. That country's behind
country starts with an I. Iceland, Italy, Ireland.
Yes. But again,
Iran?
that's yes. You know which one I'm not going to say. But anyway, that's another one I keep seeing, right? I see a lot of these, right? Yeah, Adam is actually from Australia. He says it's also happening internationally as well, where people and even families are being divided on political lines because there's no ability to disconnect. We're constantly connected to everything and being bombarded nonstop. There's no timeout anymore. This is something I struggle with. I do.
England,
I struggle with
France,
this too.
Germany.
No, I struggle with being too connected, constantly connected. I agree. I have to spend more time. Mike, you get mad at me all the time. Larry, when are you going to take some time off? Mike's yelling at me on that shit. He does it like every other week. He yells at me.
I get yelled at by my audience, like, "Hey, kid, when are you going to go on vacation?"
Mind you, to be
Someday
fair,
when this is over. Someday when this is over.
yeah, to be fair, I don't take vacations and I don't shut off. But yes, you guys should. Yes.
Yeah. There we go. So anyway, Dave, this is for you. This is for you, Kaleena. He says they need a hobby other than social media, like model trains.
Or growing tomatoes. That's what I do.
Growing tomatoes is wonderful. I like that. Yes. I like the growing tomatoes piece. That's not a bad idea at all. So yeah.
What do you
Always
do?
the gym, working out.
The gym, very good.
Yeah.
Yes. Another great way of getting a personal high, right? Another great way of getting a personal high. Yes. Mastermind Hour says Kash Patel is a Republican, but he has an eyeball that leans central left. That's very good. That's very good.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's actually pretty good. All right. Danny says, "Hey, Danny, it's been a while. I'm glad you're back. The back broke a long time ago. First noticed the shift around 2010, but that's just my observation. Not sure others would agree." That's what you said, Kit. You said the back's already broken.
Yeah. Yep. It's already broken. And again, I'm going to do what I do best, and that is report the news and give my commentary, analysis, and perspective. And I don't think that the showdown in Chicago is going to be over anytime soon. Brandon Johnson is arrogantly enough saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, we stopped Trump from coming in here." Not after what happened with the ICE official, and not what happened with the smash and grab. He's going to be coming back. Mark my words. It's
Yeah,
not
but
over
Democrats, I keep telling you guys, a lot of you guys think I'm crazy, but Democrats need fighters. It doesn't matter if they win because they're so desperate to have fighters. Democratic Party doesn't have the only fight I have is maybe Mamdani, and he's barely a Democrat now. He's, I don't know what he's doing anymore. I'm not sure.
Mark my words. Mark my words. Mamdani is going to make somebody like Brandon Johnson in Chicago, my mayor, look like a professional. You guys get him. All right. Now look, that doesn't mean Cuomo and Eric Adams are saints. No, you guys got some poison pills to choose from.
We do. Yeah, we don't have much. You're right.
But Mamdani, when I read the article about him wanting to apologize, like, you're gonna cave and apologize like that, you're already admitting wrong. Like, already, like, no, kiss of death.
But that is my point. The Democrats want anyone who will fight. So your mayor can lose to Trump, but if he's seen as a fighter, the Democrats are like, fine, we'll take it. They're desperate for fighters. He's
still mayor 6.6%. He didn't have people with him. He's still mayor 6.6%. Really what this is, the only person who will benefit from Trump not coming in will be Pritzker. Brandon Johnson, in my opinion, is a one-term mayor. He's a one-term mayor. That's it. He'll be done for.
Michael Veloff has said something that's terrible. He says school lunch pizza. That's
Michael,
terrible.
Why would you institute a worse crime?
Yes.
Listen, that is more tragic than what happened to the Roman legions at the Teutoburg Forest. How dare you, sir?
And
sir, you are canceled. I will unite the left and the right to hunt you down like the monster you are.
Like, what do you hide? School lunch?
You don't want school lunch pizza. Oh God, you should be so happy you never had to have school lunch pizza.
Michael Veloff, you are now an enemy to everyone across the planet.
You are officially canceled.
you better find a way to get out of this country quick, buddy. We're gonna hunt you down, man.
Yes. Craig says FBI crime statistics show the right is just as violent.
Wrong.
I do think there you can definitely find right violence. I completely agree you can find it. The question is how do you define each of them is an issue. Right? And which do you find? And are you defining right violence as who the victim is or who the perpetrator is? And then how left is left and how right is right? My issue is when it comes to rhetoric, this is what I'm saying when it comes to rhetoric. The left's rhetoric is far worse than the right's rhetoric when it comes to violence. The right's rhetoric is not as bad as the left's rhetoric. The right does not say because the Democrats say stuff, they should die. The left does say that. Am I wrong?
No, that's absolutely true. And if you're going by statistics on the aggressors, the answer isn't the right, it's the left. There are right people who are committing crimes. There are violent people on the right. No one's going to dispute that. And the real issue here isn't that. It's who's inciting them. There is a trend we have. That's what we've been talking about this entire show. There is a trend, a pattern that we are seeing in our society, and it is destroying our society for the right and for the left and for the libertarians and everyone else. It's taking us all down. We're all in the same vortex. That's what we have to fix.
All right. Well, before we go to that, you want to say something? I'm sorry, Kit. Before we move on, I've got to grab some of the stuff.
Well, look, anyone's really capable of violence. Anyone's, you'd be surprised what people are capable of. But what we are seeing on social media right now is the beginning stages of things getting out of hand. And I want to encourage people, even over this weekend, because look, I got family visiting me, and I want things to be calm and peaceful, not only in Chicago, but in every part of this country.
Yep.
But I think people are still emotionally just reacting towards this visceral shooting. And my concern is to all of our colleagues, left and right, people who have millions, hundreds of millions subscribers, or just a handful. I want everyone just to be careful out there, because, with the words we do post out here, yes, these are our opinions. But if you don't like what we say, then either don't watch the show or engage. And that's one thing.
I agree.
And then thing is, like, when it comes down, like, what's my audience, like, my audience doesn't agree with me all the time, but at least they're there to tune in and speak to each other, hear the news.
My audience literally insults me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Literally insult me. So,
there you go. So you build a community up, and you try and build a better future, and that's it. And that's all I could really hope for.
Let me grab some super chats if I could. Phil likes the look, Mike. He says Mike went slick. Bald is beautiful. Great convo. I gotta tell you, Mike, I prefer you this way too. I do. I like the tight haircut. I keep mine tight. You're tighter than me, but I like the tight haircut. I prefer it. I'm with Phil in this one. I prefer it tight. So
the ladies seem to agree as well, and I'm not against it. It's just, every so often I just get a little lazy and I let it grow out.
Yeah, there we go. So Grand Regent, thank you for the $2, says Kirk was anti-black and Zionist.
Bullshit.
No, I think he was. I think he was.
He was not anti-black, and he's not a Zionist. No, it's bullshit.
I don't know. Have you well, maybe in the end, and this is also, by the way, this is the other conspiracy theory, which is that he was turning away from being a Zionist.
And well, there was an article from the Gray Zone. I don't know if you saw that recently come out with written by Max Blumenthal and a few others, where there were some prominent donors from Israel and U.S. adjacent associates to Israel who were very upset with Charlie Kirk. On October 7th, Charlie Kirk did say, especially on the PBD podcast, I find it suspicious what happened. You have all these guard towers, security cameras, drones, helicopters, everything. Was there a stand down order that took place? And he got a lot of pushback and a lot of hate from a lot of people when he made that statement way early on in 2023.
But he turned. He was, after October 7th, he was more pro Netanyahu and the whole crew for a while, but just recently, last 3 months, maybe something like that, he began to be like, wait a minute. And you've seen people recently, the support for the Netanyahu government has absolutely been going down in America. Definitely been going down.
Well, yeah, but people have been spoon-fed nothing but hate Netanyahu and the actions there.
Accurately.
No, not at all. But anyway,
accurately.
And there is no government, there is no action that does not have critique, and there will be given enough time and enough critique, some of it valid, some of it invalid, that yes, there will be a shift, and there will be people who, it's not the first time that Kirk disagreed with something that many on the right or the establishment agreed with or thought is correct. It's not the first time. That's not a reason to have him assassinated. It's just,
agreed. Yeah, I agree. But I was telling you what the conspiracy theory was, and I'm also validating Grand Regent. He had been absolutely a Zionist. I mean, he was changing, but he absolutely was. He was the guy who was like all back in the government, the whole deal. Say again?
No more. He wasn't a Zionist. Neither am I. He was just because
you so are a Zionist. Yes, you are.
No,
Stop.
No.
Yes, you are.
No.
Okay, fine. You're not. But you just sat here and defended Netanyahu, said everything's fine what he's doing. You
I
just
didn't
said
say everything. No, I didn't say everything's fine.
You just went, oh, it's just people have some, critiques of the destruction of Gaza. Just critiques.
Yes.
That's all. Critiques.
I mean, look, what's happening in Gaza, it's a moonscape. It's like,
thank you.
Whatever's left of it is now flattened.
Yeah. Okay. And Mike's like, it's critiques. That's Zionist, my friend.
Then
blame
there's starvation,
blame the cause,
children. I mean, like, not to mention the death toll is rather extraordinarily rather high.
100%.
Where it's like, oh my God, this is a genocide in real time. We are in Black Mirror.
No, it's not. It's not a genocide.
So let's we can discuss this later. Let's move on to the other part. He says also anti-Black. He said some negative things about the Black community often, and he would say it openly. So he did say negative things. That's true. He did say some negative things. I'm not saying he was a racist. I'm not saying he's an ist or a phobe. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is he did say negative things. He did. Duke of X says Kirk quoted Thomas Sowell all the time. Not typical of a white supremacist. That's you could be, because if you are a white supremacist, you could be one of the people who goes, he's one of the good ones. You could do that. So I'm again not saying he was, but I don't think that's enough to make you say that. I mean, that's enough. You could say he's one of the good ones. You could do that. It's possible. That's all I'm saying. So Andrea says, Kit growing tomatoes for Chicago pizza sauce. Is that true?
Hey, my tomatoes belong to me, and I use it which way I want.
There we go. I like that, Andrea. That's good. All right, so I think I covered a bunch of those. I appreciate that tremendously. You've been quiet, Kaleena. Do you want to say something? I'm sorry, you've been quiet. We've been yapping away.
Oh, I've just been quiet because my dogs are they're outside and they're barking. So I just have been on mute, in case, unless I have something important to say. So
okay,
good.
You've been doing great.
I didn't have anything really on that. So.
Got it. John says, Larry, today on PBD, he was comparing Charlie Kirk to MLK. MLK was before my time, but the takeaway was that Charlie Kirk is a popular figure. Will students study Charlie Kirk in school? I don't think so. I don't think they will. And the reason why I don't think so is because what Charlie Kirk did not do as well as MLK did is two things. MLK came on the scene when TV was coming on the scene. The timing for MLK was perfect. One of the reasons why the people in the 60s did so well was because TV had become mainstream back then. There were tons of social leaders in the past that were doing things like MLK, like Malcolm X, but there wasn't TV. TV was the big thing. And I don't think Charlie had that timing to match that, number one. Number two, I think MLK crossed over everything except for maybe the harshest monarchist. Charlie did not cross over anywhere near as well. That's just my opinion. What do you think, Mike?
I think that he will be remembered. He won't be as big as a Gandhi or as a Martin Luther King, but he is in the same vein as them. And I think he will be remembered for a long time, for at least another generation.
But he said things that a Gandhi and later, not earlier Gandhi said it some anti-Black things, anti-African things early on in his career. But later in his career, he's more known for. Gandhi didn't say things like that at all. He was almost nothing but love and peace and awesome. MLK in his career was almost always love and peace and awesome. Kirk wasn't always that. Kirk did say negative things. Kirk did say negative things against groups of people.
That's okay.
He did say negative things. So with that in mind, you can't cross over. So how can you be seen as or compared to a Gandhi, as you said, or an MLK?
No, he's in that same vein, is what I'm saying. He's not a pacifist, which they were. He's not someone who's promising peace, love, and hugs for everyone. He wasn't. He's not a Mother Teresa, but he is a prominent figure of our time. He was very timely, and his words, and more importantly, his message of the First Amendment is something. That's why he's a martyr now. And that martyrdom will continue to be spoken about. Inevitably, there'll be a movie because they make a movie about everything. But more importantly, the message will be reverberated that in the 2020s, who was the beginning of the first quarter of the century, there were voices who were fighting for free speech, and they were internationally recognized. And one of the most prominent ones was Charlie Kirk. And that's what you're going to hear. That's his legacy. And I think that does last. Is it as big as Gandhi, as big as MLK?
I can't see that.
No, I don't. And I don't pretend that it will be that big, but it will be lasting.
I don't know. I have a feel. My gut tells me no. I could be wrong. My gut says no because he wasn't as prolific as those guys were for their time, and he did say things that were so controversial that are gonna always come back to bite him.
You know what? Let's ask Kaleena. You're probably I know you're less right leaning as I am. I'm way on the right compared to everyone here. What do you think? Do you think Kirk would be? Is his message, is his ideology, or who he was? Will that be continuing to the future, in your opinion?
I mean, I thought that was a really interesting question, and I started to think about it, and I just really don't know. Like, it's very hard for me to even picture what they're going to be teaching that's been in my adult life,
Okay.
history wise. So anything, like, I try to picture what they're going to teach about the lockdowns and everything, from then forward. And it's really hard for me to imagine how that's going to be taught in schools and talked about, like, with the, younger generations and everything, like for my son's age growing up. So I really don't know. It's hard for me to say on that. I'm not sure.
Kate, tell me, is it going to happen or not? Is he MLK or no?
No, he's not going to be put onto that level, but because of the internet and everything else, I mean, he's going to have his own version because he's not MLK. He's Charlie Kirk, so he's going to be his own legacy. And the thing is, like, we'll see what happens 10 years down the road, but is that up in the air? No, it's 50-50, flip of a coin. We'll see. But we have not seen this prolific of an assassination in such a long time.
That's true.
So I think it's time. It's better yet to go with the most rational answer. That is, sit back and watch and wait. It's a flip of a coin.
Grand Regent says Charlie is not Malcolm X or Dr. King. Don't respect my elders like that, please, Lord. I'm kind of with Grand Regent on this one. I don't think so. I don't see it. Look. We'll see what happens because you just can't say like it's going to happen now. We'll see what happens 10 years down the road. Yeah. John, thank you for the $5. He says, Larry, what they were saying today was there's 5,000 hours of Charlie on the internet, and MLK has 500 hours at the time with no internet. Yes, you're right, but here's my point: 5,000 hours on the internet is a drop in the ocean. It's a drop in the ocean. 500 hours when the only thing you have is 3 stations is a lot. That is my point, right? And in the 60s, there were only 3 stations, and TVs had just 10 or 15 years earlier had just become mainstream in the houses of Americans. Maybe 15 years prior, 10 years prior, had they become mainstream. So I think timing is a critical piece in that regard. This is my view. Look, I think Kit's right. We'll know 10 years from now. My gut says no. 5,000 hours in the internet is nothing. I have 5,000 hours on the internet. So what?
I have 5,000 hours.
Yes. Yeah. That's not impressive.
I don't even know how many hours I got on.
I'm sure you got 5,000 hours, Kit.
Maybe.
You do a show every day.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have 5,000 hours. So I'm with you what you're saying, but I don't, the percentages are just completely off. So yeah. Rod, thank you for the $5. Chicago can compete with New York pizza because they get help from Wisconsin cheese next door. Ooh.
Hey.
That's not bad. Okay.
We have all of our ingredients.
We threw that one on too. Okay, I like it. There we go. All right, so I think we grabbed all of those. I grabbed so many of these. I'm sorry. I wish I could have gotten more, guys. I appreciate that. I wish I could have gotten more of all these pieces. So many things popped up and I couldn't get all of them. Guys, before we wrap this up, somebody want to tell me what your final statements is, what you're thinking about, what's going on here. Mike, you want to start?
Okay. I am concerned because I agree with much of what we've said here today, especially the thought that this isn't over. There's going to be a reaction. My hope is that people will continue to hear the voices of moderation, of people saying, no, we do need to still keep talking because we may not reach everyone, but we'll reach most by talking and getting solutions through our voices not through our actions. And I think that's very important. If people want to hear more, and I know people will say, but Mike, you were so angry yesterday. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Right after it happened. Yes, I was. But I hope people will take the opportunity. Please see me on Sunday. I do my live stream. Starts at 2:30. Usually goes about 5, 6, 7 hours, somewhere in there. And watch as much as you can. And we'll be talking about some of the other things that happened this week that we were overshadowed, but also this as well. And I just hope that we can, in some small way, continue to have the conversations that I think are important to maintain the society of America, to maintain our nation, because I love my nation. I love America with all the different voices, with all the different opinions and ideologies, even the ones that I do not agree with.
Yep.
I still want them to be here. I just don't want the violence.
Danny says, what happened with Michael here? Kirk's murder was labeled an assassination. Society immediately elevated his murder. His death only emboldened the right, feeling hate for the other side. Valid point. A lot of people got mad. It's true. Yeah. Kit, go ahead.
So Hardlands Media, you could find us every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Central, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and X. Really happy growing on the Rumble, Kick, X, and even YouTube platform, especially when my viewers disappeared. I don't know what's going on with that one. Michael saw that in real time. He's the only one who knows I'm not crazy. Actually, I had a lot of people see that happen there too. We're on X, Instagram, Facebook. We have a Patreon page as well. And again, if anybody can, please help share and support our GoFundMe. We are in this legal nightmare of a fight. And, you know, it's just been very fascinating seeing how this all developed. And the fact that there was an attempt to put a gag order on us is all should be evident enough of just really why people should help and support this cause. And one day it'll be over. It's just, this has been utter madness and stupidity. And we are going to make sure that, yes, we're going to keep on speaking about this and talking about this and sharing with it. And Larry, I want to give you a huge thank you, and to that Liberty Lady as well, for helping, sharing, and supporting our GoFundMe. And I can't thank you enough. And I want everyone to have a very safe and peaceful weekend. And I am working on a few other projects here and there, most notably a Warhammer 40K project that I voice acted in. So good things to come. Good things to come all around, people.
There we go.
And eventually better days ahead.
Kaleena, I have picked you up and thrown you into the deep end of the pool. Please tell what we're doing.
All right. So I wanted to wrap it up by saying, kind of reiterating what I talked about earlier, which is don't let yourself feel like the good that you do doesn't matter. It's so important. Like, one thing that I'll just talk about really, really fast, for those of you who don't know, my son, he has autism. I attribute that to the, childhood schedule that he got. I used to work in healthcare, and I didn't understand what was happening until it had happened, and it affected him. And this all was right about the time of, 2020 lockdowns, all of that stuff. I would not have felt good about the whole situation had I not, taken the steps to stand up for my son, what I believed in, make choices accordingly. I left healthcare. I did a lot of things to honor basically the pain that we were going through. And if you do the right thing in hard situations, you're going to be able to heal so much, right? So I want people to remember that, these things happen, as far as awful things happening in the world, or even to yourself, even, in your own life. And the only thing that we really get to choose, in the aftermath, is our reaction and how, we choose to conduct ourselves in the future. So just always remember, how you react to things does matter. And doing good, doing the right thing, something you can be proud of. It matters so much, and you're going to be so glad that you did the right thing for yourself, for your family, for the world. Put positivity out there and took the time to heal when those situations arise. So I just wanted to say that. And
how do we find you? Tell us how we find you.
How do you find me? Well, there's not much to find anymore, because like I said, this has been
I'm trying to get you back into action. You're supposed to
back in the game.
Come on now.
It's been a whole healing journey, and we're in a really good place. You can still find me on Instagram, that Liberty Chick, and X Liberty Chick on X or whatever, Twitter.
There we go.
But
All right.
like I said, I'm not that active. I'm not like I used to be. Mostly because I feel good about the last 5 years and I'm just moving forward with my life, trying to put good things out into the world. But thank you so much for having me today, Larry. This was really fun. I always, obviously the topic was not fun. It's horrible stuff, but it is nice to get back to having these types of conversations with like-minded people, but also different. Like we all have different viewpoints and I got to learn a lot. So thank you.
Yep. It was nice that the other two guys who were both wrong and we were both right. So that was good.
Yeah.
That was nice. Yes. So the poll did close, by the way, guys. The poll did close, and it looks like we had do you think we are at a point of no return? 43%. The top was yes for some time now. That's not good. Next was no but getting close, 37%. Next was not sure but scared, 17%, and only 1% said no, things were okay.
Nope. Next option number 1 won. So
yes, absolutely.
Doesn't surprise me. Everyone, please be careful. Please be safe out there. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. By the way, I will be, there will be no show tomorrow. Why will there be no show tomorrow? Because I will be traveling. I will be out this weekend. Saturday, I'll be at Stamatis in Queens at noon, the Imperial Diner at 3 p.m. in Nassau County as Freeport, and then the Premier Diner 6 p.m. in Comac. That's out in Suffolk County. Yes, I always go. No, I go to local places. To come to my event is free. You don't have to pay a dime. Here's what I ask you. Please buy something from the event. Buy a cup of coffee, buy a soda, whatever. If you have the cash, please buy a meal, right? If you got a cash, buy a meal. If you don't, buy a drink, something. Show up, support local people. Please come. And Saturday, all 3 spots, Mike will be with me. You can hang out with Mike if you want to also. So he'll be there on Saturday. Me and my daughter will be there on Sunday. So you can meet my daughter on Sunday if you want. Still good either way. Come chat with me if you can. I appreciate it. If anyone you can come by. I'll be heading back upstate in Western New York in a couple of weeks. So I will still be out there the entire time. As I always ask you, please check out my sponsors. My sponsors, Civil, and my sponsors, The Advocates. I don't have time to do the commercials here because we're doing this. Please check them out. They're in descriptions in YouTube, descriptions on Facebook and on Rumble. Please go to Civil, check them out. The code to go on Civil so you can get 50% off is Larry. 50% off, $25 the entire year for cool Civil stuff. Head over to The Advocates, take one of those tests and share them. It's free. Does not matter. It's free. Cost you nothing. Please do that. So it does matter. Lastly, remember something. After this, please put a comment. And here's what I want you to put a comment after the live. Once it's over, please tell me what you thought when you heard that Charlie Kirk was shot. Just put what you thought when you heard that Charlie Kirk was shot. What did you think when that happened? What was your thought process? Were you thinking things are going to get worse, better, doesn't matter? What were you thinking when he got shot? Remember, this is not live. If you watch it, like say Wednesday, Thursday, next day, you can see 2 videos pop up. Please watch one of them right away. Algo Rhythm loves that.
Please put a comment in because that's going to count as a view. YouTube has changed how views are looked at. Liking the video, putting in some watch time, and commenting now all add in together what is an active, engaged view due to the YouTube AI algorithm system. Something I warned about way back in 2021. It's like that scene from Jurassic Park when the T-Rex gets out and Ian says, God, I hate it when I'm right. Yes, and that's one of those things.
Absolutely. Shelly said it. Great show, and chat again tonight. Guys, have a great night. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. I will see you all very soon.